Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtriki Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Guru Dinatarinim Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanyeshwaram Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so continuing our discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. Last time Ramkumar Prabhu he spoke on Canto 3 chapter number 23, which is titled as Devahuti's Lamentation. So we'll quickly go over little overview and then we'll continue with chapter 24, what happens next as appearance of Kapila Dev and renunciation of Kardama Muni. So overall the topic is going on. What it describes is after the marriage of Kardama Muni and Devahuti, Svayambhu Manu and Satarupa, they go back, right? They go back to their kingdom. And after they are returned to their home here, Kardama and Devhuti, they are staying in their ashram. Devahuti happens to be the daughter of a king, right? She is a princess, but still she is living with her husband in a hermit. And what does she do? She serves her husband very nicely. And it describes what are the qualities Devahuti demonstrates. So we'll go over that briefly. So first I will go over the overview of this chapter 23 and 24, and then we'll take some main points as a theme of today's discussion. So Devahuti serves Kardama Muni with all her body, mind and heart, and Kardama Muni is very pleased with the service attitude of Devahuti. And then Kardama Muni say, I am very pleased with you, I want to bless you, I want to give some benediction to you. So Devahuti says, if you really want to give me something, please fulfill your words. Right? You have given me the words that you will give me a child. So before that, first make arrangement for a house and my body, which is very weak now, it has been emaciated, so please recover me, bring me back to my original state in terms of my bodily youth and all. So after that, Kardama Muni, he fulfills the desire of Devahuti. He creates a big mansion, like a aerial mansion, a big palace which can fly at its will. And the mansion which he creates, it has so many rooms, so many gardens, so many lakes, and it is surpassing the opulences of Swarga. So after Kardama Muni creates this aerial mansion. Devahuti is still not very pleased looking at her body. So then Kardama Muni tells Devahuti, you go take bath in Bindu Sarovar. So after you take bath in Bindu Sarovar, you will regain your youth, your beauty. So Devahuti goes to Bindu Sarovar, takes bath in the Sarovar. As she take a dip in the Sarovar, inside the Sarovar she see many maid servants. So many servants, girls come, surround Devahuti, and they start serving Devahuti. Tell that, okay, we are your maid servant, we are here to serve you. So they give nice bath to Devahuti, decorate her hair, decorate her body with nice ornaments and jewelry and everything. So after regaining the youth, she comes and Kardama Muni holds her hand and help her to climb onto that aerial mansion. Now they keep traveling in that aerial mansion to all different parts of the universe for so many years. So it's described that they go to so many different places, and after that Kardama Muni, they return back, and Kardama Muni, through Devahuti, they have 9 daughters born. So after the daughters are born, now Kardama Muni says, I fulfilled my promise that I will give you progeny. Now my work is done. I want to go take sannyas now. So as Kardama Muni says that, okay, now I'm leaving, I'm taking sannyas, Devahuti is filled with lamentation. Okay, that is the title of this chapter, Devahuti's lamentation. So why is she lamenting? She is thinking that after Kardama Muni is gone, after my husband is gone, taken sannyas, I have that girls, but they are not going to stay forever with me. They will be married, they will go to their houses, and who will take care of me? How will I become fearless? Like, who will give me abhay? And another reason for her lamentation is that I stayed with Kardama Muni for so long, for so many years, but I have not taken seriously to the process of devotional service. Yes, she was serving Kardama Muni nicely, right? That is the most important duty of a chaste wife, to serve the husband. But she is thinking, she is feeling that lamentation. Alas, I have spent all these years, but I have not understood the process of devotional service. I have not given importance to devotional service. Even though I was living with such a great Vaishnava. So that is her lamentation. And then she requests Kardama Muni, please stay and give me abhay. Make me fearless. Indirectly, she is saying, I want a son who can take care of me when you are gone. So that is how chapter 23 ends. Now chapter 24, how it starts is, Kardama Muni tells Devahuti, do not worry, do not lament. Whatever has happened has happened. It's not your fault that you did not take to the process of devotional service. You have done your duty. And I am very pleased with you. And with the mercy of the Lord is personally going to appear from your womb. He is going to take birth as your son. And He will bless you. He will make you fearless. So that is how the chapter 24 starts. And then Kardama Muni, with the union of Kardama Muni and Devahuti, Lord enters into the womb of Devahuti. Okay, so Lord enters into the womb of Devhuti as Kapila Muni, and seeing that Lord has personally appeared, is personally going to appear, all the demigods arrive there to glorify the Lord, to glorify Devahuti and Kardama Muni. So at that time, Brahmaji, he glorifies Kardama Muni, that you have fulfilled all your responsibilities, you have fulfilled the duty as an ideal son and as an ideal disciple. You have fulfilled all my instruction to the dot. Whatever instruction were given to you. Because Kardama Muni is the son of Brahma. So as a son, he had a responsibility towards his father. And he is also a disciple of Brahma. So as a disciple, he has a responsibility towards his spiritual master, his guru. Brahma had given him the instruction, you fill the world with progeny. So you need to generate progeny. So he has fulfilled his responsibility. He has fulfilled, carried out the order of spiritual master. So Brahma said, I am very happy with you. And then Brahma instruct Kardama Muni that you marry all your 9 daughters with the great sages, the other sons of Brahma. Brahma had other 9 sages, 9 sons, apart from Narada Muni and the Chatushkumara. They are Naishtik Brahmachari, right? Forever celibates. So Brahma instructs this to Kardama Muni, and then Brahma, Narada and Chatushkumara, they leave. They don't stay for this marriage ceremony. We are Brahmachari, we have nothing to do here in this ceremony. So Brahma, along with Narada and Chatushkumara, they leave, and then Kardama Muni and Devahuti, they give their 9 daughters to the 9 sages. Brahma's instruction was, give this daughter to the different sages based on the nature and qualities. Okay? Based on with whom each nature matches. Based on that, you give away your daughters in charity to all the other sages. So Kardama Muni marry his 9 daughters with the 9 other sages, which are like Angira, Agatsya, Vasishtha, Atri, so all those sages. So he marries his daughters. After that, Lord Kapila Dev's birth takes place. And then realizing that Lord has taken birth in my house, Kardama Muni approaches his son Kapila Dev in a secluded place when they are alone, basically. So Kardama Muni pays obeisances to Kapila Dev, who is his son, and he pays obeisances. He glorifies the Lord that out of your causeless mercy you have appeared as my son in my house, and you are so merciful. Basically, you are Bhakta Vatsala, right? Even though I am a householder, I am a grahastha, that you have appeared in my house. Even the yogis, they meditate on you for thousands and thousands of years in their hearts, still they are not able to achieve you. And out of your causeless mercy, you have appeared at my home as my son. So Kardama Muni glorifies Kapila Dev. Many prayers are listed there. And then Kardama Muni says, I have one thing to ask from you. And we may say, what is Kardama Muni going to ask from Kapila Dev now? Is he going to ask a big nice house or whatever? But what does Kardama Muni ask? I have one thing to ask from you. Now please grant me my wish. I want to leave home and take sannyas. Right? That's what he is asking. That I want to now go fulfill my desire, which is to leave home and take sannyas. And at that time, Kapila Dev speaks to Kardama Muni. He blesses him that you go take sannyas, you will always meditate or always fix your mind on me, and in your heart you will be always able to see me. And at the end, you will attain my spiritual abode. So I provide you that fearlessness. I give you that abhay. And I will give that benediction to my mother also. Whom? Devahuti. So I will give that benediction to my own mother also. She will also be able to cut down all her affections, all her attachments, and she will become fearless. So I will give abhay to my mother also, Devahuti also. So that is how this chapter ends. So Kardama Muni, he leaves home, he takes sannyas, he wanders around different places, completely not depending on anybody. He doesn't even take association of fire, doesn't stay at anybody's house, does not being completely dependent on anybody. So not taking shelter of fire means he is not cooking. Okay, he does not associate with fire, he is not cooking, he is not accepting any cooked food. All he is accepting is roots and fruits. So in that way, Kardama Muni, he passes his years completely as Atmanandi. And then at the end, as he leaves his body, he attains to the spiritual world. So this is the overall flow of these 2 chapters. Now the theme of this chapter, or what we can learn, what we can apply in our lives, is becoming free from lamentation and fearless. Becoming fearless, right? Fearlessness. So becoming free from lamentation and fear. So what does it really mean? So that is what we are going to uncover in this discussion. So first point here is, it starts with Devahuti served her husband Kardama Muni very nicely, very exemplary. And there are many different qualities listed how she serves her husband. So one thing is Sadhavi. Sadhavi means she is a very chaste wife. She is very faithful to her husband. And it is compared as Bhavani serves Lord Shiva. Devahuti served her husband Kardama Muni. So that is chastity. She is such a chaste and faithful wife. So why it is mentioned here? See, as Bhavani is serving Shiva, Bhavani, she is the daughter of Himalaya. And she is also a princess. Here Devahuti is also daughter of a king. So she has come from such a opulent family, but Shiva does not even have a home. He is just living under a tree, or he is living in crematorium grounds. But Bhavani, she serves her husband Lord Shiva very respectfully, very carefully, knowing the desire of her husband, without demanding anything, without saying, oh, I came from such a royal family, opulent family, and what are you giving to me? So not having that attitude, she is serving her husband very nicely. So that is the quality of being a chaste and faithful wife. So Devahuti is also demonstrating that quality, being a sadhavi. Then the next quality mentioned is understanding the desire of husband. Patim ingita kovidah. Yes, that is a Sanskrit word used. Patim ingita kovidah. Very well knowing what is the mood, what is the desire of my husband. At this time he want to be alone. He want to absorb in his sadhana. At this time he want to sit with me and talk with me. So understanding the mood of her husband, understanding the desire of her husband, and then with great love, pritya, not in a aggressive mood, in a sulking mood, but with love. Yeah, not with complaints. I am doing so much work all day and night, and what you are doing sitting here and meditating, chanting Hare Krishna, so you go and you do wash the dishes, or you do this thing or that thing. Not like that, but just understanding the mood of the husband and serving the husband with love. Then the another quality which mentioned, I'm not going to go over all the different qualities. There's a whole list of, in the first 3 verses of chapter 23, it describes many of the qualities. Okay, so we are just going some brief thing. And then the another quality which mentioned is sohridena. The word sohrid. Sohrid means, what is the meaning of sohrid?
Pure heart. Pure.
Good heart, as a good friend, right? Sohrid means a very good friend, very dear friend. So the wife should deal with the husband as a very good intimate friend, having always the well wishes towards the husband, or towards a friend basically. That's the sohrid mean, that you always have a well wishes toward other person. So she should serve the husband with always well wishes, not speaking ill about the husband. Oh, you always want to be in the front and you want to keep me in the background. You are so proud, you are this and that. So not like that, not having that type of attitude. Like Sita Devi. In the example of Sita Devi, what we learned, when she was exiled to forest, on the talk of one washerman, Lord Ram said, okay, he told Lakshman, go drop Sita in the forest. At that time when Lakshman went and left Sita in the forest after crossing the river, and as Lakshman is coming back, he is crying. And Sita is not able to understand why you are crying. And then finally Lakshman reveals that Lord Ram had asked me to just leave you here in the forest. He has abandoned you. And at that time, Sita, she is still speaking well wishes for Ramachandra. Right? She is not saying, how come he has rejected me? And he has done this and that. I was always with him all these 14 years. I always accompanied him. I served him. And now he has abandoned me. And generally what happens in that kind of mindset, the wife will start speaking ill about the husband. Oh, you are like this and you are like that. You are always doing this. But Sita Devi, she does not speak any ill word towards Lord Ramachandra. She is always speaking best wishes for Ramachandra. That is how the wife should serve the husband. Here the word used is again Sohridena. So she is serving Kardama Muni with all these great qualities, giving up all the lust, pride, envy, greed, sinful activities. So the word used as giving up kama, dambha, dvesha, lobham, agham, madam. All these negative qualities, the vices, giving up all these tendencies, she is serving her husband. And another thing is serving with sweet words, offering sweet words. Vacha madhuryat. Because what happens is, husband goes out of the home. Now it's both, actually husband and wife both go, they work and they both go out. So they both come frustrated from the home, and then at the home they dump their frustration at each other. But generally what happens is, in the Vedic culture, right, Vedic times, the husband is working outside and wife is staying at home, taking care of the home, taking care of family. So husband goes out in the world and he has to deal with many different things. A boss is doing kitch kitch. Boss is saying, okay, this is the project deadline, you have to do this, and the colleagues are saying something, or in the market he goes and get into fight with somebody, that person is saying something. So outside world, he has to deal with so many things, so many negativities. But at the home, when he comes home, wife always should offer sweet words. So to calm him down, at least to not further increase the problem. Right? If outside environment is also same and at home also same thing, then where will he go? So at least at the home, the environment should be such that the wife is always offering the sweet words. So vacha madhuryena. So in that way, she is serving her husband with all these great qualities. So the another word used is dambhena, right? Without pride. As I mentioned earlier also in the category of chaste. So this pride is, she should not think, I am also so advanced, I am also so superior, or I belong to so much rich family, I brought so many dowry with me, I brought so many gold with me, or so much Lakshmi with me. So having that pride, so not showing that type of pride, but always having that submissive nature towards the husband. Now, after hearing this, husband should not start thinking, see, look, it's being spoken about you. That is the nature generally, right? Our nature, our conditioning is what? When we hear something, we are very selective in hearing. We think, to whom does it apply? And let me point out to that person. See, you hear, this is for you. This is not for me, this is for you. And what is for us, we don't want to hear that. So it should not be like that, okay, we start pointing at other person, or you need to hear this, you need to improve in that way. But it applies in both sides. Devahuti is serving her husband Kardama because he is a very advanced sage, he is a very advanced devotee. Sita Devi is serving Ramachandra in that way. So we start giving this example, so you should also serve like Devahuti. You should also serve like Sita Devi.
No, Prabhu. Actually, wife serves for him, right? In this story, I am asking, Kardama Muni is the husband of Devahuti, and he has to take care of his son and wife, right? Why he went to spirituality?
So we'll come to that point.
Yeah.
Okay. When we move forward, we'll come to that point also. So in this particular case, what I was saying is, Devahuti serving Kardama, Sita Devi served Ramachandra. We should not use these examples to make it as a stick and beat the other person, beat the wife. So you should serve like that. So we have to see, okay, am I like Kardama? Am I like behaving like Ramachandra? Do I also have those qualities? Lord Ramachandra, to protect his wife, to serve or to save his wife, he went up to Lanka, he built a bridge across the ocean. At Kardama Muni, he was able to create that aerial mansion. So we should not just blindly try to take some portion of that. We have to see equally, am I also serving my wife or taking care of my wife in equal capacity? So the point here is, Devahuti served her husband, and as a result, she was able to get the blessings of Kardama, who happens to be such a great Vaishnava. And as a blessing, she was able to receive Lord as her child. Right? She got the blessing, the benediction up to that extent. Now, Devahuti's lamentation at the end is when Kardama Muni is leaving and she has not got a son yet. She was thinking, if Kardama leaves, the daughters are also married, what will I do? Who will take care of me? So that is one part of lamentation. And the second part of lamentation is, I have wasted all these years, did not take to devotional service seriously. Now, coming to the point of lamentation, so I will just directly move into the 24th chapter. I will not spend too much time on this chapter which was covered last time. Just one verse I want to mention here, very important verse toward the end of chapter 23, okay, which Devhuti is speaking. So that is part of her lamentation. What is she saying? Neha yat karma dharmaya na vairagya kalpate na tirtha pad sevyaye jivan api mrito hisah. So very, very important verse actually. This is quoted many times.
What is the number?
This is Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter 23, text number 56. Okay, so very important verse. What does it says? Nehayat karmu dharmaya. If all our activities, all our endeavors, all our occupational duties, they do not lead us to dharma, they do not lead us to the religiosity, religious life, then what is the use of that? Na big vairagya kalpate. While engaging in the religious activities, while performing our religious spiritual activities, if it does not develop vairagya, the renunciation in the heart, then what is the use of such religious activities? Na tirtha pad sevai. So if one is not able to serve the devotees of the Lord, serve the holy places and holy people, what is the use of such vairagya? Jivan api mrita hisa. For such person, even though he is alive, he is like a dead person. So what does it mean? Our karma means our occupational duties, whatever prescribed duties we are performing, either as a householder or in our occupation, that should lead to dharma. Dharma should lead to vairagya, and vairagya should lead to seva. Now, this is not a sequential thing. There is an overlap also. Things happen parallelly. It's not that after this, first this will happen, then this will happen, then this will happen. Because vairagya and seva, they go parallel together. You start serving the Lord, you start serving the devotees, and in that process you develop that detachment, you develop that renunciation. So this is a very important verse, but Devhuti is saying that I have been engaged in my duties as a wife, but I have not developed that detachment. Right? I am still so attached. I wish for a son. I am wishing for the opulences. So that attachment was there. That is the cause of her lamentation. So how it applies to us? Sometimes we feel or we think that right now I need to work hard. I need to progress in my career. I need to progress in this way or that way. And this spiritual life, religious life, that can wait. Right? That is for the end of life program. But ultimately, if our occupational duty does not lead us to spiritual life, that's a waste of time. In the first canto of Bhagavatam also there is a verse very similar to this, which says Shram eva hi kevalam. If one is performing all his occupational duties but he does not progress in spiritual life, all his endeavor is just like a useless labor, laboring hard like a donkey. So we should not start thinking, oh, first I need to get a job, first I need to earn this much money, first I need to buy a house, first I need to send my kids to college, then I will think about spiritual life. No, it does not happen like that. So Devhuti is having that lamentation, and after Kardama says, please do not be disappointed, do not lament. You have not done anything wrong. You will get the full benediction of the Lord, you will get the full mercy of the Lord. So dealing with lamentation, What Kardama is saying, whatever has happened has happened. It's gone and done. So don't worry about that. Now think for the next. Think for what to do next. So in our case, how we should apply, how we should understand that point. Sometimes we think, right, when we come to spiritual life, when we start understanding, we generally hear this statement, I wasted all these years, I should have taken to this process early. And we bog down so much on that thought, keep thinking, I wasted so much time, I'm useless person, I'm this and that. Okay, whatever is done. Now at least you have come, you have understood to this thing. Now at least take it seriously. Now why you are wasting, why you are waiting more? Right now at least you take to this seriously. So think about what you want to do now. It's good sometime to have that little feeling that I'm such a fallen person. But don't make that feeling overburden your mind that you are not even able to progress further. So Kardama Muni tells Devahuti, please do not worry, do not be disappointed. Let's think about the next now, what to be done next. And the verse which is spoken here, it talk about the knot in the heart. Again, very important verse. Chapter 3, text 24, verse number 4. Chittate hridaya granthim Odareya Brahma Bhavana. So what Kardama Muni is saying, the personality of Godhead, the Supreme Lord Himself, He will appear as your son, being worshipped by you. He will spread my name and fame, because He is coming as my son, right? He will spread my name and fame, and He will vanquish the knot of your heart. Chetate Hridaya Granthani. We have knots in our heart, knot of attachment. Right? So strong knots in our heart, in our consciousness, these knots of attachment, knots of fear, knots of hankering. So all these knots are there in the heart, but who can cut down those knots to pieces? We are not able to open those knots. Those knots are so strong. Right? Sometimes if you put knots in a thread, very strong knots, and you try to remove those knots, right? Now unknot that. It doesn't happen. No matter how long nails you have, how many sharp nails you have, you are not able to unknot those. So in our heart also we have those hriday granthani, that knots in the heart. And we are not able to open those knots by our own endeavor. Only the Supreme Lord can cut those knots with the sword of knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita also Lord Krishna says that with the sharp sword of knowledge, I cut down their knots of ignorance. In chapter 10, in the Chaturshloki Gita, that particular verse comes. And now here also what is Kardama Muni saying? Lord will appear, being pleased by you, being worshipped by you. He will vanquish the knot of your heart by becoming your son. Odarya Brahma Bhavana. And He will spread this knowledge of self-realization. Brahma Bhavana. So about this knot of heart, cutting down this knot of heart, Prabhupada in the purport actually he quotes another verse which is also similar to this one, which Rishabdev is telling his sons. It comes in the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, where it says, Pumsastriya mithuni bhavametam tayor mita hridaya granthim aho eto graha kshetra sutapavittayer janasya mohoyam aham mameti. The attraction between the male and female is the basic principle of material existence. So this is Canto 5, Chapter 5, text number 8, which is being referred here, quoted here, because it's also talking about the knot in the heart. And what is the reason of that knot in the heart? It says the attraction between the male and female, that is the basic principle of material existence. Why somebody is in this material world? Because of this mutual attraction towards the opposite gender. And because of that attraction, the man and woman, they come together, and then so many things happen. When you have a wife, then you need a house. Once you have a house, then you need so much furniture. Then you need a car to go from one place to another place. Then you have a son, attachment with the son or the daughter. Then you have the farm. So in this case, it's mentioning farm. In our case, it's our office. Right? So then the attachment with home, the farm, the land, the wife, the children, the bank balance, the cars. So all these different attachment develop. So here it says, Ato graha kshetra sutapa vittair janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Aham mam eti. And under in all this illusion keep increasing, one is always thinking in terms of aham mama, I and mine. True? Right? We are always thinking about I and mine. Lunchtime is far away yet. Don't worry. So, I and mine. Everybody is thinking with I and mine. Oh, this is mine. This is my house, my car, my family, my job, my position, my bank balance. So, we are always thinking like that. You know, George Harrison, Beatles, in 70s, George Harrison wrote a song based on this verse of Bhagavatam, and that was the last song sung by Beatles before they broke down, they separated. So George Harrison wrote this song. You know, the lyrics of that song is, all through the day, I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine, all through the night, I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine. So people, what are they doing all through the day? Same thing. I, me, mine. Throughout the night, I, me, mine. And so he wrote a song, and that was the last song they performed as a Beatles group. So actually, in 11th Canto Bhagavatam also, I want to spend little time on this particular theme here, because that is the theme I picked from these chapters, coming out of lamentation, coming out of fear, right? I already told the storyline, so we don't have to go too much into the storyline. So in 11th Canto also, in Uddhava Gita, Uddhava asked many questions to Lord Krishna. One of the questions which Uddhava asked, now don't get surprised, it may be too strong, okay? Just I'm giving you, you don't get offended. So it's not me speaking, it's based on what is scripture saying. So don't say, oh Prabhuji, why you are calling us these names? So Uddhava asked Lord Krishna, because Lord Krishna spoke many things about the process of self-realization, process of bhakti and all that. So Uddhava asked this question, that even though in this world generally there are moments when people become serious about self-realization, they become serious about the goal of life, right? They become very serious, they develop that vairagya, but again after some time they are seen to be enjoying the material world, they again engage in those same material activities of enjoyment. How can a person who got that vairagya, that little renunciation, again act like a dog, act like a donkey, act like a goat? So the words used are Shava, Khara, Aja. Shava means dog, kutta. Khara means gadha, donkey. Aja means bakra. So Uddhava is saying, like, people sometimes they behave very sane, very sober. They become little serious about the self-realization, but again they are seen to be acting for material enjoyment, just like a dog, like a donkey, like a bakra, like a goat. How is that? Why is that? So how many of us have felt like that? Sometimes we become very serious. Now tomorrow onwards, pakka, solamala. I'm not going to skip any time. Pakka, every Sunday temple. I'm going to take it very seriously. But then again, Monday comes, Tuesday comes, again we slacken down. Again, today let me watch little TV. Today let me go to party, let me go to hotel, let me go to restaurant. Today let me just do this thing. So again we start doing those things. So why is that? So Lord Krishna answers very beautiful actually. Says why it happens is our minds are influenced by the mode of passion, mode of goodness, and mode of ignorance. So goodness, passion, and ignorance. When we are under more under the influence of goodness, we develop that knowledge. Right? We are more interested towards knowledge, we are more interested towards self-realization. But that does not stay for long. We are again and again influenced by the mode of passion and ignorance. Mode of passion and ignorance overpowers. It covers up the mode of goodness. And that is the reason why that desire for self-realization, why that detachment doesn't last long. And the example why Uddhava is quoting these particular three entities, the dog, donkey and goat. What is the nature of a dog? What are the activities of a dog? So one thing is, dog is walking on the street, a he dog finds a she dog, immediately get attracted toward that. Want to approach the she dog for sexual enjoyment. Even though at the risk of being bitten, being barked at, right? She may bark at it, she may show the teeth, but still the dog is attracted toward that, at the risk of being bitten also. And the another nature of dog is, somebody gives him little chapati, something little to eat, and the dog start wagging his tail around that person. He want to show his loyalty towards that person, right? Bafadari. कुत्ता बोलते ना, कुत्ता वफादार होता अपने मालिक के लिए. So the dog want to show his loyalty towards his master for the little something the master has given to him. And that's why it's mentioned the living entities, the human beings also behave like dog many times. The first verse which was saying is the whole material existence is because of the attraction of a man toward a woman. That is the cause of material existence. Somebody walking on the street, if they also get attracted toward the opposite gender and start thinking, oh, I want to embrace that person, I want to enjoy with that person. So that's like a dog-like mentality. There is no restriction, there is no discrimination. And then the man working so hard in the world, in office, he is just going around his boss, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, I will do whatever you say. Right? Showing the loyalty towards the master. That's also dog-like mentality. The second example given is a donkey. Why? Lazy. Actually, donkey works very hard. Donkey is not lazy. Donkey works very hard. And for little grass, he is lifting such a burden on his back, carrying from one place to another place. So donkey also has the same two things. Donkey approaches the she donkey for the attraction to enjoy, but at the risk of being kicked by the she donkey. And then he is carrying such a big burden from one place to another place for what? To get little green grass, which he can find anywhere actually. But still donkey thinks, unless I work so hard, where will I find my food? So Prabhupada says the human being in this world is also working like a donkey. They want to work so hard day and night in the offices, in the factories, to produce these nuts and bolts to these iPhones and laptops. But at the end of the day, can they fill their bellies with these nuts and bolts and iPhones and smartphones and computers? At the end, what we need? Vegetables, fruits, milk products, grains. So one person can be satisfied with small little these food items, but they want to work so hard day and night and thinking unless we have all these things, our life is waste. So once two donkeys, I may have told this story earlier, some of you may have heard, some of you may not have heard. Once two donkeys had a reunion. Okay, after many years from their college pass out, they had a reunion. So one donkey told, I'm working for MNC, multinational company, a big salary, big perks. my life is all set. I have a very big prospectus. What about you? He asked the second donkey. The second donkey said, I work for my master, my owner, he gives me little task, but I also have a good prospect, very big prospect. Really? What are your big prospects? He said, my owner have a daughter. She's very beautiful. And one day she made a mistake, and I heard my owner chastising her daughter, if you make this mistake once more, I will get you married to that donkey. I am waiting for that time. So I have a very high prospectus. So people in the world, they are working for different goals, different ambitions, like a donkey. And then goat, the third example of goat given is, what is the nature of goat? What does the goat, Bakra, do? Bakra, they are taking it to be slaughtered. Standing in the line while waiting for his turn to be chopped, the goat is still busy in munching. Don't realizing my end is coming near. He is still munching. We also entering into the mouth of death. We don't realize when our lives can end, but we are just busy doing our routine activities. Not taking seriously, we have been told so many times, please chant the holy name, that is your only shelter. But we think tomorrow, today I am busy. We don't want to take to this process seriously. Our bank balance will stay here only. Right? When you are gone, your bank balance is going to stay here, your home is going to stay here, your cars are going to stay here, your families are going to stay here. We cannot take anything with us. You will not be there, but everything else will be still here. The only thing which we can carry with us is the spiritual bank balance, which is chanting of the holy name, hearing Krishna Katha. Then you are building your spiritual bank balance, which will come with you. So we are acting like this goat. Even though we are entering into the mouth of death, we do not realize, we just busy doing our activities. And another nature of goat, what does the goat do? What does goat speak? Meh, meh. She is always doing meh, 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 meh. Human being is also doing same thing. I, me, mine, I, me, mine. All throughout the day, I, me, mine. I am such and such person, I am such powerful, I have such position. And so people are always busy making new plans to achieve different things, or they are modifying their plan. Isn't it? Making new plans, updating their plans for achieving something of this world. So that's why here Uddhava is also asking this very question, that why do people act like that? So Krishna is saying this is because they do not have the strong determination. Their vairagya is momentary, called Falgu Vairagya. Like Sugriva, and I will explain with the example of Sugriva. Because Sugriva also represents typical living entity, a Jiva. When Bali was killed, Sugriva started crying. He started lamenting. Alas, alas, because of me my brother is killed. I also don't want to live. I also want to end my life. I don't want this kingdom. And then Lord Ramachandra pacified him. He knew that this vairagya which Sugriva is showing is just momentary vairagya. That's what happened. When some close family member dies in the family, we develop that vairagya. So, Lord Ramachandra made Sugriva the king. After that, what did Sugriva do? He became too much absorbed in enjoyment. And he forgot that now my task is to serve Lord Ramachandra. I need to fulfill my promise also. So that is the example of the living entity. We develop that momentary vairagya, that renunciation, but again we forget. So once one person, he heard of a very scholarly person, a very jnani, who has a lot of knowledge. And this person thought, I want to go meet this jnani, this scholar person. I want to learn something from him. So he gets a train ticket and go to this person's village to meet him. As he reaches his home, finally asking people, where does this person live? He reaches his home. As he reaches home, knocks on the door. The scholar's wife, she opens the door and tells that my husband is not at home. He has gone to a cremation. He will return after a few hours. So either you can wait. And this person said, no, I cannot wait that long. I have a return train. I have a return ticket. So I just came to meet him. Okay, so then you can do one thing. You can go to this cremation ground and meet him there. You don't have to wait. Okay, that is a good idea. But how will I recognize him? I have not seen him. So she said, my husband's forehead is always shining because of knowledge. उनके मस्तिष्क से एक आभा निकलता है. So there is always a hue emanating from his forehead. That's how you will be able to recognize him. Okay, very good. So he went to the cremation ground. Did not enter inside. He thought, if I go inside, then I will be contaminated. And I don't have any arrangement for taking bath. I have to go back also. So I will stand outside the cremation ground at the door and wait for him to come out. So waited for a few minutes. After some time, after the final rites are done for that person, whoever was being cremated, all the people started coming out. And this person is surprised now to see everybody's forehead was shining. So he is in confusion now. How do I recognize this person? Everybody's forehead is shining. Waited for a few more minutes. As people started to walk away with few meters, their forehead became dim and dim and dim. The light which was emanating, the aura which was emanating, it started getting dim. Only one person's forehead was still shining. So he recognized, okay, this is the person. So he approached that person and asked him, I have a doubt. I saw everybody's forehead was shining. And how come their aura became dim and your forehead is still shining? So this person said, the secret is, see, when everybody came to the cremation ground, for momentarily they also all developed vairagya. Seeing somebody dying, everybody becomes serious in that moment. So what happens to us also? When we see our near and dear one die, right, either in the family or in your circle, you start thinking, "Arey, this person is also gone. That is also gone. That person is also gone. Maybe my number is also coming quicker." So people become serious. Right? Like your childhood friends. If you start hearing, oh my, this friend, he passed away. Oh, this friend, that passed away. So everybody in that circle of my age is now going, my time will also come. So people become serious. They become little renounced, detached. But after a day or two, again life goes on. They again continue with their life. So this person said that is the nature of this world. All these people, they got momentary vairagya, but as they stepped out again, went back to the same routine life. And the person who is really in knowledge, who has understood the philosophy, who has understood the purpose of life, he can continue with determination. So Lord Krishna is explaining to this to Uddhava also in that point, that people in this world, they go through 4 stages in life. Jagrata, Swapna, Sushuptu and Chetana. So what is this? The Swapana stage, dreaming stage. Like in the dream, while you are sleeping, you fall asleep and you start seeing the dreams. The dreaming stage is not a very deep sleep. When you are really in a deep sleep, you don't get any dream also. So this dreaming stage is somebody sleeping, not in a too deep sleep, and he starts seeing all these different dreams. And in the dream, somebody starts saying, I am doing this activity, that activity, I am this person or that person. Sometimes you imagine to be a king. Sometimes you may imagine to be a butterfly just flying in the sky. So that is the dreaming stage. That is illusion. In the dream, you can do anything. But you are not that reality. In the dream, you may eat chappan bhoga, but all the nice, nutritious things. You may eat whatever the best nutritional thing you think of. Somebody is interested in eating this kheer made with nice milk and rice and sugar and nice cream on that. No matter how much nutritional that item is, but in the dream, whatever you are doing does not give you any real nutritional value. In the dream, somebody may be doing push-ups and all that, but it's not going to do your bodybuilding here in reality. So whatever you see in the dream, that's not a reality. So that is the dreaming stage. The second stage, which is Shushuptu, that is deep sleep. Deep sleep is just like ignorance. He has no understanding what I am, who am I, right? Who I am, what I am doing. He has no understanding of that. That is deep sleep like ignorance. That state is just complete ignorance. Then even awake situation, Jagrat Avastha, that coming out of the dream, but if the person keep identifying himself with illusion, with the dream, that waking also is useless. That awakeful situation is useless. So same way, even though we are awake, but if we are in illusion, we are still sleeping towards our real identity. Understand the point? For example, just to understand that point, let's say this material world is real and we are real. We know material world is Krishna's creation. We are also part and parcel of Krishna. But if we start identifying with this material world, yes, we are real, material world is real, but if we start identifying with this material world, that is illusion. We know that, okay, yes, this is my body, I am such and such person, but if you start identifying with that material objects, material qualification only, then you are in illusion. Because you are not just this body. Yes, right now you have this body which is like an instrument, but that is not your real identity. So if we start identifying ourselves with something which you are not, that is illusion. So if a person is awake, but he is too attached to this material world, identifying with this material world, even though he is awake, he is sleeping only. He is in illusion. Another example to understand is, let's say there is a rabbit. Rabbit is real, right? खरगोश होते हैं, सींग भी होते हैं. Some animals, they have horns. But now if you start dreaming a rabbit with a horn, horns are real, horns are possible in this world, rabbits are possible. But if you start imagining a rabbit with a horn, that's illusion. So same way, when we start identifying ourselves with this material world, that is illusion. That's why even though we are awake, we are sleeping only. So Krishna says these three stages, all three stages are illusion only. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushuptu. The fourth stage is Chetan. When somebody attains his real consciousness, they understand, I am not my body, I am the spirit soul, I am part and parcel of Krishna. Goal of my life is to go back to Krishna. Goal of my life is to serve Krishna. So when they understand this reality, then they are really awake. Then they are conscious. And in that way, they should understand the real goal of life. They should try to control their senses, control their mind, and engage the senses and mind in my service. Only then they can come to this state of determination. Otherwise, this flickering nature keep going on. एक दिन वैराग्य उत्पन्न हुआ, दूसरे दिन फिर से, next day again into those activities. So engaging our mind and our senses in the service of Krishna. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchyate. Engaging our senses in the service of the master of senses. That is bhakti. So everybody with me so far? So we started with Devhuti's lamentation. Kardama is saying, do not lament. Ultimately, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, will appear as your son and he will cut off the knot in your heart. The knot of attachment. The knot of this lamentation. Because of attachment, we are having so many lamentations. Hankering and lamentation. Hankering for something, lamenting for something. If you got something and it's not up to the standard, then you are lamenting about it. then you are hankering for something else. So this hankering lamentation keep going on. So only the Supreme Lord can cut down that knot in the heart when that's real knowledge develop in the heart. Then the next thing comes. What is the next point was about the fearlessness. Right? How does the fearlessness develop? Should I continue or should we continue next time? Next time? So today we covered only the part of lamentation, hankering lamentation. So okay, maybe we will continue next time, where I want to talk about one more important point here, because Lord Brahma, when he appeared, he glorified Kardama Muni. Right? That you have fulfilled all the instructions up to the dot. You have been a very good son and a very good disciple. So we want to talk about the qualities of a disciple. How a disciple should act. Again in 11th Canto Bhagavatam, Krishna described how a disciple should behave towards the Guru. So he lists many qualities there. So I'm going to quote those here and link it with this, because Brahmaji is telling Kardama, right? You have been very good son and a good disciple, and we want to understand how to please the Guru, how to please our superiors. And then the final point is about the fearlessness. So these two things we'll talk about in the next class. Grantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. So please forgive me if I spoke something strong. Again, not my words, these are the words of scriptures. So can I mention one thing here? Just to give you a little boost or inspiration to study Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So how do we develop that interest, that desire to study the scriptures? And how we can really understand the scriptures? What is the key ingredient needed for us to understand scriptures? Anybody? What do you think?
Initially Shravanam.
Shravanam. Okay. Okay, anything else? Okay, so that is good point. So basically, we say there is so much knowledge is there in the scriptures. The knowledge of scriptures is not like the material education. Material education, you pick any book, you can read and you can try to gain some information. Right? That is information. But spiritual knowledge is not like that. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, this is the most confidential knowledge. Like Guhyam. In 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, now I'm going to speak you the most confidential knowledge. What is secret about that? How is this secret? How is the knowledge of scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, how is that a secret? Somebody may say it's openly available. Bhagavad Gita, millions of copies of Bhagavad Gita have been distributed. It's available online version also. So anybody can read. It's openly available. So how is it a secret then?
Not everyone can understand.
Not everyone can understand. That's a good point. See, yes, we can get a copy of book. We can read by ourselves, Swadhyaya. So that is the beginning point. But just by reading, we may not be able to understand. Little bit something here and there we may understand, but we may not understand it, the real message behind that. We may not be able to apply practically in our life, how it really relates to me. So we may not understand all those in-depth messages. So what does it take to understand Bhagavad Gita? What was the qualification of Arjuna to understand Bhagavad Gita?
He was
association.
a friend and first to be a disciple and a friend.
So Krishna says you are a very dear friend and a disciple and you are free from envy. Anusuya way, right? You are free from envy. So that is the qualification. So how does it start? By just reading ourselves, we may not be able to understand. For us to understand, we need to have Sangha. Sangha of devotees. When we come in the association of devotees, hear from them, Shravanam. Right? So Sangha, then sadhana. Not just by hearing, by listening, we need to do our sadhana also. When you chant the holy name, then Krishna gives you that intelligence to understand that message. So Sangha, sadhana, then seva. When you render some practical service to Krishna and his devotees, then our heart becomes even softer. Then it becomes ready to receive that message. And then Swadhyaya. Then our self-study also helps. So you can study yourself, but unless we come in the association of devotees, we hear from the devotees, when we do our own sadhana, when we do little practical service, unless we do these things, we cannot understand this message. That's why it's a secret. So Krishna is saying we need to develop this cycle of this 5S. What was the cycle of 5S? Sangha, sadhana, seva, swadhyaya, and 5th sadachar. A good character, right? Good dealing. Coming in association of devotee, not with the cheating mentality. Coming in association of a devotee with pure heart, with the tendency to serve them, not with the duplicity. So with that, then we really become eligible to understand this message of the Shastras. And then we can learn how it relate to us, how it relate to the world scenario, and how we can practically apply in our life. So, sorry Mataji, we did not reach up to your question.
It's okay.
If you want, I can briefly summarize the answer to your question. We discussed that earlier also. So, you said Kardama Muni, he should serve his wife, take care of his wife, he should take care of his son, and why he want to leave. Right? So, the purpose of Kardama Muni is bigger than just his family life. For a saintly person, the whole world is his family, not just his wife, his son. Because that I, me, mine, that tendency, right? My son, my wife, my family, my house, that is the cause of our bondage in this world. And his goal originally was also self-realization. He just engaged in this family affair on the instruction of Brahma, because Brahma had instructed, you produce progeny. So he took up that task to fulfill the order of his father and his guru. But now he wants to fulfill the real purpose of his life, which he had told the Lord also, when Lord personally appeared in front of him. After Kardama Muni did lot of tapasya, Lord personally appeared in front of him. Right? And then Kardama asked that I want to marry to fulfill the instruction of my father. So Lord said, yes, arrangement has already been done for you. So Manu will come and he will offer his daughter to you. And then he said, I will personally appear as your son. And so to fulfill that purpose, Kardama Muni engaged in family affair. But ultimately his goal was he did not want to get bound with the family life. So even though family life is good, one can progress by living in family life. We are not at the stage of Kardama Muni, at that level of renunciation. So for us, while staying in family life, we should fulfill our duties and progress in spiritual life. But for Kardama, he is in a very advanced stage. For him, the purpose of his life is self-realization. And he sees the whole world as a family, not just getting bound with that small family. So that is the reason why he chose to do what he chose to do. Same thing Prabhupada. Right? Prabhupada left his wife, he left his children, and he went to Vrindavan, took sannyas, and then he came to the Western world. People may say, oh Prabhupada, why did he leave his wife? Why did not he take care of his wife? Because for him, the goal was a bigger goal. To deliver all the fallen conditioned souls of this world. Not just delivering his own immediate family. Clear?
Yeah, clear.
I have a question for you.
Yes, Michael.
Like self-realization is to achieve goal, to achieve God. So why he had to go somewhere else to achieve God when God was in his house?
Yes. So very good question. That's again continuation of that one. One particular answer to that is he did not want to get bound in the family life thinking if I stay here I will miss the real purpose of my life. Becoming attached, oh God has personally appeared as my son. His original rasa, Kardama Muni's original rasa is Dasya rasa. Now staying at the home, the rasa will change to Vatsalya rasa. Getting attached to the son, thinking he is the Supreme Lord. So he did not want to mix that Dasya rasa, getting overpowered by this Vatsalya and getting drifted from his real goal. So that was the reason he wanted to continue with his original plan, which he had promised to the Lord. Okay? Okay, any other question, comment? Otherwise, I don't want to hold you for too long. You want to hear a joke? Somebody asked somebody at the end of the class, sometime any devotee tell, right, very nice class, Prabhuji, very nice class. And if I ask, okay, what did you like in the class? What point did you like in the class? Prabhuji, you ended on time. You did not delay the prasadam part. So, I don't want you to keep you waiting, thinking about prasadam only and not even pay attention to the class, which is the real purpose, right? So, again, thank you very much for coming and attending. And we'll see you again next week and actually tomorrow.